The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
I'm here to stand up for wrestling. I am here to give the fans a voice.
If you're not watching the promotion right now, you're missing out on something I think that could possibly shape the future of wrestling, and I mean this wholeheartedly, for the next 5 to 10 years.
Nobody can touch me. Nobody is better than Adam Cole.
This company is still existing, yet they have to do this at the 11th hour to make sure that they run these tapings. I thought TNA was going to be different, and I guess not.
This is truly the Kevin Owens Show.
Pentagon Jr. is the wind beneath my wing. The only thing that we get at 10 for sure, maybe at 11, is Ken Shamrock showing up.
Sasha Banks is fighting on instinct alone right now. There's no strategy.
It's got to be running on fumes as she's whipped across the ring, and now Charlotte. Look at Sasha Banks, no counters! Big statement! Big statement from out of nowhere! The big statement! Charlotte, look at this! It's Sasha's shoulders down, turns it right back over to the big statement again! Great counter by Sasha! Charlotte's got nowhere to go! Charlotte taps out! Sasha's the champion! Sasha's the champion!
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling to the mat.
And your hosts, Gary Vaughn, Sean Garmer, and Paul Leeser.
Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling to the Max Part 1. We are at episode 215. Yeah, that's right, guys, and we've got a big one for you. Not all we're going to talk about some big pay-per-view shows, actually, some big reviews that we have not had a chance to do this weekend. We're going to start with the All-Star Extravaganza. That's right, Ring of Honor had their big show this past weekend, so we're going to break that thing down, tell you all about it, and get excited about what's going on in the world of Ring of Honor. Plus, we also have our episode of Ring of Honor TV from this Monday. Plus, we're also going to jump into TNA's Bound For Glory. That's right. We have some great stuff when it comes to that. So a lot of cool things to get into when it comes to reviews. Plus, we got a few quick hits. We've got another big star in wrestling stabbed. Man, this is becoming a trend. I don't like it. Plus, we got some other news that you want to hear about, like the Dusty Rhodes Classic. We got some people announced for that. You don't want to miss us kind of breaking down that bracket, talking about it, what we think could be the happening, and what we're excited about seeing. So we've got a full show for you guys. And boy, I am your host, Gary Vaughn, and I've got my co-host Sean Garmer with us. Thank God, Sean, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back, and it's nice to be back in the regular format with everything, not having to do shows from a car or outside with crickets and all that else stuff going on.
Yeah.
But,
Well, glad to have you back, though. That's all that matters here. And, of course, Mr. Paul Leeser is here also. Man, you played producer last week, and now you don't have to.
Load off my mind. I don't know how you do it, Sean. It's a tough business over there.
It's not something that I enjoy doing per se, but it is what it is.
One of these days when we get big enough, guys, we'll have a guy that's just producing, just sits there, messes with the board while we just talk. So one of these days we'll get there, right? But until then, Sean's great at it. He's a good producer. He does an excellent job of it. So he's the guy until we can, find somebody who's interested in doing that other part. But we're here, and I am so glad that we're all back together. This is going to be consistent until next week when you guys are without me. So,
God.
which is going to be the highest rating shows we've ever had. So I'm excited.
Jeez, Gary, what a way to, this is why Gary's great, because he's just so self-deprecating. But
sorry, I just love it. I just had to throw that out there. I mean, the SmackDown Live review show gets huge numbers compared to our Raw review, and that's usually the show I'm not on. So I just had to throw that in there. But
wow,
no, I'm just joking. It's because honestly, SmackDown Live is really interesting, and trust me, I'd be tuning in too. But besides that, I mean, enough about me. I'm excited. We've got this show that's going to be big, and of course, you guys don't want to miss next Thursday's show as well. We are going to be getting into No Mercy. We're going to be breaking that thing down and giving our predictions and some other great stuff on that show too, like we always do. NXT, Lucha Underground, and of course, Impact Wrestling. So you don't want to miss that episode. But this week, I'm thrilled. We're going to get into some of these reviews and some stuff we got a chance to check out this weekend. And before we do that, I want to let everybody know, if you want to find out more about us, go to w2m.com. That's where you can, not only can you find us on there, you can see some written articles. That web also allows you not just to have wrestling, but there's some football content. If you're a giant fan of the NFL, lots of great stuff. If you love college football, we also have a top 25 rankings that I think we do pretty well. I mean, I really like our rankings, and to me, sometimes we get it right where the AP doesn't, and sometimes, some diversity. So I like it. I like it a lot. And, of course, some other great content when it comes to video games as well. So go check out that site. Plus, don't forget, go subscribe to the W2M Network if you're not already subscribed, because you can get all the shows that we do in one nice bundle, and you guys aren't having to go search for them and typing in a whole bunch of crap. You just, hey, W2M Network, click. There you go. You can find all the shows right there, and you get other great shows as well. So it's a win-win for you. But let's do this thing. Let's go ahead and jump into some Ring of Honor talk, and we're going to jump into All-Star Extravaganza first. So let's do this thing.
Yeah. Good.
Do you have music? I'm sorry. I didn't know if you had music for it.
I was trying to do... Hold on. Here we go. Well, I want to say this before we get started. I had to work this morning, which I normally don't do on Mondays. So due to time constraints, I had to pick one show to watch. And since Paul already did a wonderful ROH All-Star Extravaganza VIII review for the site and everything, I know he watched it. I know Gary probably watched it. So these two are going to handle that and then transition into whatever the ROH TV was this week, which apparently was not a new show, and then I will be back on when we start the news. So, guys, take it away.
All right. Well, Paul is usually going to handle, all the Ring of Honor TV. I'm going to kind of run down this card because I definitely want to hear what Paul has to say. I watched this show, but I kind of had to fast watch it because of the fact of time constraints. I wanted to make sure we could talk about it, and I didn't want to be left out. So I did get through the show, but I just kind of fast watched it a little bit. So I think Paul is going to be the guy that's going to give us a lot more information. So let's start this thing out, Paul. I want to talk about the fact that Bobby Fish did defeat Donovan Dijak, and of course that means that he retained the Ring of Honor TV Championship, and of course that means that Dijak he didn't tap out, but he did pass out, which basically means he submitted in a way. But this is a pretty good match for what I saw. I thought it was interesting. I like Bobby Fish a lot. I thought Donovan Dijak didn't look too bad.
I thought they played a really smart dynamic here. Bobby Fish pretty much trying to out-wrestle Dijak, while Dijak is using what brought him to the dance, of course, and that's the big power moves and everything. And, the hometown crowd was there for Dijak. They were way into him. Pretty much everything he did, they marked for, and that's always great. And I'm really surprised they didn't do the title change here. I thought this was a good time to try to start doing something with Dijak, but apparently they think differently, and the strikes and all that were just off the charts in this for me too. But Dijak passing out, I think, creates an interesting dynamic, because you could work that into a title rematch of, hey, I never tapped out. You didn't technically beat me, my body just sort of gave out. So maybe we get something else down the line between these two guys.
Yeah, that's where I kind of came from it as well, because I felt like Dijak did enough in this match to prove that he could hang with Bobby Fish. And, this goes back to, where Dijak's size definitely was a factor in that. And why Bobby Fish kind of had to go what he knows, and that's wrestling. Not power move, not a guy that just beats you by his strength. So he used his strength, which was technical wrestling, and did a great job of it. I still, like I said, I think this was a decent match. I really did enjoy it for the most part. So I'm, a little surprised like you, though. I thought Dijak was going to win this. I really did, and I'm a little bit surprised they didn't choose this as the moment that he did get some momentum. When do you think that momentum is going to come into play? I mean, do you think that they're waiting for a bigger event, or how do you think they're going to play this?
That is a really great question based on sort of the things that are circling around Kyle O'Reilly and Ring of Honor and the Bullet Club and all that. Is Bobby going to get involved in all that? And, there's still all the rumors percolating around that Red Dragon might not resign with Ring of Honor. They'll go full-time with New Japan. And if that's the case, then, man, you kind of want to move the belt and start trying to make somebody here, right? And I really hope they do come back and touch on this and sort of – because Bobby, he's done well with the title. He's not incredibly interesting to me. He's a great wrestler. He can do promos very well, but he hasn't really had a big feud or anything that's really sort of captured my attention. Sort of like, it's nothing like Jay Lethal's title run, where he sort of just, ran things and got you invested. Same with Roderick Strong's most recent run before he left. And then, Ishii was Ishii, so I'm already hooked on that. But they need to start building some of these other guys, and they haven't quite taken the risks to do that yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought this was a perfect opportunity to get one of those guys in that realm, of, hey, he belongs in the ring with a guy like Bobby Fish. He belongs with the rest of this roster of veterans. And so, I really question when they are going to pull that trigger. But, I think that they hopefully will sooner than later, since they still have a little bit of story here, if you ask me. Let's talk about the Ring of Honor #1 contendership for the tag titles, and we did have some really good teams here. We had Dalton Castle and Colt Cabana defeat Shane Taylor and Keith Lee, along with War Machine and the All Night Express. This was great. I think I was the only one who predicted this. I kind of had predicted it because I love Dalton Castle. We all know my infatuation with him. I'm a Colt Cabana fan, so I just picked it out of fandom. Had no real honesty when it came to actual talent. I think Paul. I think you may have chosen. Who did you choose? All Night Express. I can't remember.
Yeah, I went with A&X.
Yeah, so that was the smart decision compared to my fandom mark out decision. But what did you think about this match? I thought it was fairly well done. I was very happy. My boy Dalton Castle actually was the guy that got the pin.
Yeah, the beginning, there's not really a whole ton of flow of any sort to be had. Mostly because Shane Taylor and Keith Lee and War Machine are just interested in beating the piss out of each other. In fact, whenever Cabana, or was it Castle and I think Rhett Titus are in there sort of posing against each other, they just say F it, jump to the floor, and then start beating the piss out of each other, which I just loved. Mm-hmm. I'm so invested in that feud, and I think once you get to the finishing stretch, I thought that was incredible. All the dives, and it's made especially impressive by all the big guys who can move. Like Keith Lee doing a somersault tope. Jesus, that's absolutely stunning. The dude's well over 300 pounds and moves like he's a feather. It's incredible what he can do, and I think those guys are bound for tag gold at some point, but certainly I think Cabana and Dalton Castle is an interesting choice, especially considering what happens in the main event.
Oh, definitely. And, this was what was so much fun, was just to kind of go back and forth between these teams and just consider your decision when you were, trying to predict it. And you kept going back and forth saying, man, I was wrong. Or no, wait, but what if I was right? Wait, no, I'm wrong again. Just because these guys had such a dynamic that everybody had a chance to look good in this. And I was excited. And of course, I was very happy with my choice because, the guys I really care about did win. So, but solid match, if you ask me. I really did enjoy that one. Let's talk about Dragon Lee defeating Kamatachi. I mean, what did you think about this? I mean, it took the Phoenixplex to get the win here.
Yeah, this was absolutely incredible. Just stunning. These guys went out there, turned the match up to 11 from the get-go, and I swear to God, I'll be surprised if they have any body parts that are able to move today, because they not only did they hit each other with everything but the kitchen sink, but they kicked out of everything but the kitchen sink. I mean, this match goes on maybe a little longer than it should, but I mean, Kama Itachi, I think, was absolutely the right guy to display Dragon Lee's talents. These guys killed it earlier this year and at the end of last year in matches across both Mexico and Japan. And you certainly, I think, got your money's worth just from this match alone. This was incredible. And I tried my hand at gifting for the review over at W2Mnet.com, so I have some gifs up on there. And trying to pick one was just, what do I pick? Which spot do I pick? Because they were all incredible.
Oh, that is a hard decision. Some of the spots I saw in this match definitely are worth it. So I don't know, man. That's a tough decision. I think you have at least 16 to 17 that might, at least what I'm thinking about, that you could use.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the Dragon Lee leaping over the top rope with Kamatachi standing on the apron and hurricanroning him to the floor. I eventually went with Kamatachi doing the sunset bomb on Dragon Lee to the outside just because I'm such a mark for that move. But there's so many spots in this. You guys have to go see this. It's incredible.
Yeah, like Paul said, I mean, definitely a match that you don't want to miss. I mean, if this is the only thing you find this. There's some other matches I would definitely recommend, but this is the one I would not miss. And I kind of fast watched this one, and Paul, I mean, even fast watching it a little bit here, those spots were great. So let's move on to talk about Kyle O'Reilly. He defeated Hangman Page. And, you know, this is something I kind of expected. I thought it was a pretty decent match here. I love Kyle O'Reilly. I think he did an excellent job. Getting the armbar on Page was, a great idea. But at the end of the day, we do have Page, after he loses the match, start attacking Kyle O'Reilly and actually tries to go after that arm of Kyle O'Reilly and injure it. So we've got a lot of, I guess heat, you would say, between these guys because of the fact that O'Reilly and Adam Cole have their thing going. So that involves Hangman Page because of the Bullet Club.
There is a lot of great storytelling going on in this match. The match, however, isn't anything too great. It's O'Reilly gets to really take it to Page. Page gets his big spots in. Hits maybe the best slingshot clothesline of his career because it's absolutely incredible. The storytelling part comes in, of course, with Page attacking the same shoulder that Adam Cole and the Bullet Club injured way back whenever O'Reilly was challenging Jay Lethal for the world title, which is that was a very smart, very nice piece of tying all that together and him retargeting it and everything. But, I mean, since Page has really won that big match against Jay Briscoe back at Best in the World, Best in the Death Before Dishonor, one of the two. Anyways, they haven't really capitalized a whole lot on that other than him just sort of being a hitman, but he hasn't really done... This is the first thing we've actually seen him do that's sort of hitman-like. So I hope this sort of continues going forward, of him being sort of Cole's guy to go out there and take care of his problems for him. And I'm sure this feud will last a good long while up until Final Battle, but as far as the match goes, it's not anything too big,
Yeah, you're right. And, it was still fun. I think that, it's not exactly the best match in this whole, on this whole card, but still very interesting. And I do enjoy the storytelling because I really am invested in Kyle O'Reilly and what's going on with that situation. Right now he's kind of playing that part of a action hero who's being put down, by the bad guys. And, it seems that he's never going to get out of this. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to see a big momentum switch, and I think you're going to get a chance to see Kyle O'Reilly kind of come out of this and look pretty good at the end of the day against the Bullet Club. But I do enjoy the storytelling part of it for sure. Let's talk about ACH, Kushida, and Jay White facing off against the Briscoes and Toru Yano. We do have ACH getting the pin, so the Briscoes and Yano do not get the victory here. What did you think about this one?
I really enjoyed this match. It's not the best trios or 6-man match I've ever seen, but they certainly didn't, make on the floor. It's a solid match. They also revealed the rest of the bracket for the 6-man championship too. So this is the first part, and then the ACH Kushida and White will face the winners of the Cabinet, taking on the Cabinet, who will be facing off against Kincaid, Ali, and LSG, which I believe are a bunch of people returning from the Top Prospect tournament. And you also have the Addiction and Kamatachi taking on Team CMLL, which was that's Ultimo Guerrero and a bunch of other CMLL guys whose names are escaping me at the moment. And they'll the Kingdom and the Bullet Club are your last match there too. So, and the Bullet Club, I believe, is being represented by Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, which is a tall task for Matt Taven and what's going to be his new Kingdom whenever we see them. But as for this match, I thought this was really very good. I thought it was a smart move to put the younger guys over because I was really expecting the Briscoes and Yano to go over. But Jay White, I think, looked really strong in this. I think ACH has come back from Japan and is just silky smooth in all of his moves and delivery. His like for a time before he went off to do the tag league over in Noah. He was a great high flyer, right? But he had those times where he'd get in between moves and he'd look a little lost, or it wasn't as strong, or all this other stuff. But it's like a new guy out there who's he took his game from an 8 and it's a 10 now. It's incredible, and you should absolutely go watch this just to see ACH perform because it's so good. And Yano gets to be Yano. That's pretty much all that took away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the match. I think ACH did a great job. I picked Jay Wyatt just because of the fact of the young factor, to be honest with you. And what I mean by picking Jay Wyatt, I picked this trio because of Jay Wyatt. And that was because of the fact that they've made him look so great in Ring of Honor, bringing him over here from New Japan. It's just been exciting. So he was really the selling point for me choosing that team. But, Paul was right. I mean, the team that you were really thinking were going to come out of this were the Briscoes and Yano. You felt like the experience was there. You felt like it was just going to boil down to them finally finding a way to win. And that's just not the way it worked out. But still a great match and another one you need to go check out. Here's a match that I don't want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. Jay Lethal defeated my boy Naito, which that never happened. I'm just letting you guys know that never took place. We're going to erase it out of our memory if we can. And I'm going to try to erase the fact that Naito's power bomb was countered into the lethal injection. And somehow Jay Lethal won an imaginary victory over my boy.
I tell you what, your boy avoided the lethal injection for a good portion of the match until he finally got hit by it, and that put him away. Naito, however, got to be Naito. Like, he attacked Bobby Cruz while he was introducing Jay Lethal, which was great, and Steve Corino freaking fell in love with that. Naito gets to be Naito very often throughout the match. Evil gets involved, and Jay Lethal sort of has to deal with all that. But I thought this was a fine match. It wasn't anything too spectacular or special or anything like that, but I think they certainly went out there and put on a fun match that kept the crowd at least, going on.
Yeah, definitely. And, this is one that I really wanted to watch, and I watched it in complete because I couldn't fast watch my Naito. Sorry, I'm going to watch him all the way. So I enjoy him and his normal antics. He's super amazing. And I'm a Lethal fan too. Don't get me wrong, but anytime you put anyone against Naito, I'm going to be down on him. So, but not the 5-star match you may expect for me personally, but still good. Still definitely a solid match to enjoy. Let's jump into the main event here. Actually, no, this is not the main event. This is the next match. I apologize. This is a big deal, though. This is Adam Cole facing off against Michael Elgin, and Adam Cole was victorious. And I thought this was going to happen. I think that a lot of us were, picking Adam Cole. Oh my God, Adam Cole, because of the fact that he has got this big storyline with Bullet Club. But Elgin did his thing, man. He really did, and I really enjoyed this.
Well, yeah. Once again, I thought this was about the same as Lethal and Naito. You knew who was going to win. It didn't stop him from putting on a good match. Excuse me. But that being said, I mean, just because they didn't do anything to really sort of go out of their way and make the match special. I mean, they made Elgin look triple tough in this with how much it took for Cole to finally put him away, with the knee targeting and everything that ultimately pays off and he hit 3 last shots on him, and it was incredible, just how strong they really made Elgin look despite him taking the fall here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and Elgin has done such a great job over in New Japan, and people are ranting and raving about how good he is, and he definitely proved how good he is in this match. But it was all about Adam Cole at the end of the day, and I think it was kind of like you said, it was something we expected, but still good. Let's talk about what basically the whole internet has been talking about, and a match that people have been ranting and raving about and gotten excited about. We had the tag team titles on the line, where the Addiction will be putting them up there against the Motor City Machine Guns. I can't believe I'm blanking on that. And of course the Young Bucks. And boy, this was crazy, Paul. This was crazy awesome.
So the way I write reviews while I'm watching something is very stream of thought. It's very broken up, and I just sort of write down my thoughts, of course, as I go. Go figure with it being called stream of thought. But there's so many spots in this. I think I have like 30 different lines here, which is way bigger than anything else that I wrote for. These guys, they just went out there and absolutely killed it. All 3 teams, but certainly I think this was a night that the Young Bucks knew they were in their element. The crowd knew that the Young Bucks were in their element. And they went out there and put on a show. And equally as great was Christopher Daniels, 46 years old, maybe took the most spots out of anybody in this match. I swear to God, there wasn't an object in that ring or around ringside that he did not bounce off of. He takes he eats a super kick and he back on this big sort of like barricade table that the Young Bucks made. He just bounces and rolls. It's absolutely disgusting. He takes a back body drop off the top of a ladder onto another ladder, and his back hits one of the main legs on the outside, and it's absolutely brutal. He also takes a ladder to the face, which I think legitimately cut him open. There's no blade in there, and he was bleeding like a stuck pig. And the dude absolutely went out there and showed that he still has everything that you think he does. But it was the Young Bucks night, and they killed Kazarian. They murdered him with an Indie Taker through the table from the top of the ladder. I gave this one 5 stars. If I could bloodstain him, I probably would have. And a match of the year candidate for sure. I would. It just incredible. You have to go watch this. Whoever you are, whoever's listening. Gary, watch this in full. Sean, watch this in full. It's incredible.
Yeah. I was really curious to see what Paul was going to highlight in this, because there was so much. And I want to have a rest of the show, so I'm not going to jump into all the spots, but I'm just saying, listen to Paul. This is a must-watch match. It is going to be in our end-of-the-year candidates. You don't want to miss it. So just trust me. I don't want to spoil too much if you do going to watch it and you haven't seen it. Yeah, sure, we told you the Young Bucks won, but there's so much more involved. And, this just makes sense for the Young Bucks to win. I mean, I think Bull Club is collecting gold. So this is very interesting and really exciting. You don't want to miss anything out of this. So, but that concludes All-Star Extravaganza and all the great stuff that took place. So, it showed that Paul, I mean, for the most part, I felt was really solid. I was really impressed with a majority of what I saw here.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 in my review. This was I think the worst thing on the card was Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Page. And that certainly isn't from lack of trying. It's just, it was meant to do something else. And I gave that 2 stars. Everything else was above, in my opinion. And it's just, it might be Ring of Honor's best pay-per-view offering, but it's certainly must-watch for the tag team title Ladder War 6 match. And Dragon Lee and Kama Itachi was incredible. And there's a lot of great stuff going on this show. And it really sucks that you have to wait a couple of weeks now to actually see some capitalizing on TV.
Yeah, that's the bummer, because Ring of Honor always has their cool down period after their pay-per-views, and I want to get into this now, and we have to wait a little bit. That's okay. I get why they probably do it. But talking about that, we've got to talk Ring of Honor TV for this past Monday. So we've got to do that. And don't forget, everybody, we are still going to talk some news and quick hits, and we're also going to jump in for Bound for Glory after that. So before we do that, let us go ahead and talk about the Ring of Honor TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we lose Paul or something here. Oh, I heard a switch or something take place with the microphone. That's not a good thing. Hopefully we'll get somebody back here. But it's just it's kind of crazy. Sometimes this audio doesn't work out like we need it to. But let's see if we got Paul back here. We got you, Paul?
Hello?
There you go.
Okay. I started launching into the thing, and you're like, "Well, we lost Paul." I'm like, "No, I'm right here."
There you go. I heard it sounded like it sounded like an amp. When you plug in an amp, that's what it sounded like, and you disappeared. I was like, "Oh, I was gonna play guitar for us." But you're back, so let's go ahead and talk Ring of Honor TV.
Yeah, let's do it. So this week and next week's Ring of Honor TV, they're showing stuff from the Field of Honor event that they taped back at the end of September. So that means that this is very outdated, because we're going to see Michael Elgin defend the IWGP Intercontinental title, which of course he no longer has. Naito does. But they open this show with Evil challenging Bobby Fish for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. It's a fun match. It's not overly great. Commercials really take you out of it for me. And Fish ends up making Evil tap out with the knee bar.
Yeah, nothing unexpected here, right? I mean, a decent match. I mean, I like Evil and I like Bobby Fish, so it was fun. It was, kind of exciting. I sometimes you get kind of taken out of it when you know kind of who's going to win, but it's the same point. I mean, it was entertaining, so I'll go with that.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And then we get to that Intercontinental title match with Donovan Dijak taking on Michael Elgin. Of course, Elgin's already going to win. That didn't stop them from putting on a really fun match. Them working their power games against each other, I thought was really cool because Elgin holds Dijak up for over 40 seconds, and that stalling suplex he likes to do. Dijak gets to do the knees and then the toss the guy to the side thing that he does from the fallaway slam position, which is equally impressive with Elgin being as huge as he is. And he actually gets a really great string of strikes, a choke breaker, and a moonsault that if I didn't know that Elgin was walking out of here the champion, I might have bid on, because that was a really strong string of maneuvers. And, like I said, ultimately Elgin ends up retaining with the Elgin, or the Buckle Bomb Elgin Bomb combination.
Yeah, and that's, kind of what you felt like might happen here. But let me tell you this. This is what I was the most happiest about this whole thing was you're getting to see Dijak get better. And these matches make him better. And so I felt like, man, this is something eventually you're possibly going to see on the DVD one day or get a chance to kind of see his growth. And this is a big deal. I feel like, pitting Dijak against a veteran, a guy that is super talented like Elgin in this scenario, really helps both guys, but it really helps Dijak. So I was excited about it. But at the end of the day, you knew Elgin was going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then your main event for the evening is 8-man tag team action as the Bullet Club contingent of the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Yujiro Takahashi take on the Motor City Machine Guns, Leo Rush, and Super ACH. I forgot to mention that they're introducing him as that now, which I feel like he's probably earned that moniker with how great he is now in the ring. ACH comes out running the bases, and then he slides into the ring, which is at home base, and he's safe, and it's wonderful, and I laughed a good bit at that. This pretty much is what you would expect with these guys in the ring. It's fast-paced. You get lots of dives. Leo Rush is incredible, and I hope he's absolutely slaying everybody over in Europe right now because he's doing a tour over there. And ultimately, the Bullet Club comes out of this. Page hits Sabin. First Sabin gets hit with a couple of super kicks to the back of his head before Hangman Page plants him with the rite of passage. But this is a really, really good match.
Yeah, it was. It was really exciting, and like you said, it was very fast paced, and I appreciated it. Definitely, a situation where, once again, Leo Rush, it just continues to amaze people. And like you said, whatever he's doing in Europe, I hope it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, a good solid way, I think, to, main event this show. Lots of energy, lots of excitement. That's what you kind of like Ring of Honor TV for. You get to some things you don't get a chance to see anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was, really well done.
Yeah, there's a lot of great wrestling. Just no story development. Being able to hit after All-Star Extravaganza just really takes the wind out of their sails.
It really does. I appreciate the great wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to appreciate that. But at the end of the day, we ran through this in like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I mean, this is great, but unless we're going to sit here and call spots, it was just entertaining. It was exciting. That's about it. You don't have a lot of meat on the bone. You just got the kind of the skeleton here to talk about. So good stuff, though. Definitely a solid show. Once again, it's something maybe you want to go check out if you like good wrestling. And in 30 minutes, an hour, you can sit there and watch what you like out of it. That is, of course, Ring of Honor. All the Ring of Honor stuff we're going to talk about today, at least. We are going to move on, though, guys, and we have some quick hits here, some big stories, and then we're going to jump into Bound for Glory, like we said, and we'll see if we can get Sean back on here. I think he is patiently waiting for us because he was getting ready to do quick hits, but I have not heard Sean just yet, so we may go into this cold and just go ahead and run into some quick hits. We had a situation recently where Alberto Del Rio was stabbed, and of course this happened. I believe, if I'm not looking at this right, I believe it was this Sunday night, Paul? It was recently. And he was stabbed outside a restaurant. He finished his meal, enjoying himself. He was going to get on a flight, and then sadly he was attacked and he was stabbed a few times. He had slashes, and he has, of course, some bruises and nasty cuts. If you want to go look at these, and not saying you're a gory person, but if you want to go see actually some of the pictures, you can go on the Wrestling to the Max group on Facebook, and they will be there. You can see them other places too, but that's just want to lead you over there to go check it out. But man, Paul, I mean, this is the second stabbing we've heard in just a week. I mean, Jamie Noble was just attacked last Wednesday. Now this happens. This is getting crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I don't know. Obviously, we don't have the full gist. We just have the presser release that that Del Rio's agent released, which said he's going to be fine. He's not going to miss any more dates or anything like that. As far as wrestling goes, which is great news. Obviously, he didn't. He's not dying or anything or critical condition. But certainly, this is a little worrying. These guys getting attacked out. I don't know why you would want to attack Del Rio, but or Jamie Noble for that matter. But here we are, and I'd be a little afraid to walk down the streets now. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming this is in Mexico.
Yes, it was in Mexico.
Yeah, which they're having problems in that country, anyways, with drug lords and everything like that. But certainly, it's still just disconcerting. You never want to hear anything about this happening to anybody.
Definitely not. And, it's just these guys have been, celebrities all around the world, Jamie Noble included. And some people know who they are, or, maybe that, just, decided to pick on him just because he was a human being. That happens all the time, every day, whatever country you're in. But El Patron, Alberto Del Rio, whatever you want to call him, is a pretty big celebrity in Mexico. And people know who he is. And I'm not saying this is motivated by anything, but, that could be a possible factor here. Maybe someone thought they could get some news, they could be in the news, or maybe someone just didn't like him. Maybe, they thought some of the things he did, in the wrestling world were, real. And, like we've seen in the past, how many times did you hear about Roddy Piper getting attacked? And guys like that back in the day, they'd be in riots just because of what they did in the middle of the ring. So, this is not a new thing, but it's definitely a sad thing, especially in the case of Jamie Noble and, of course, Alberto Del Rio. I'm glad he's not hurt as bad as Jamie Noble got hurt. I think you got kind of lucky, if you ask me, on that part. So,
yeah, This is Del Rio or Patron. I mean, kind of sucks for him. At least we have a legit reason why he no-showed, not like the other show where he just decided to no-show. So that's good in a way, but it's bad that it has to be for something like this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, and we'll continue watching Alberto Del Rio's situation. Hopefully he is better, and hopefully he's recovering. Definitely sucky news to hear. Let's quickly talk about Sara Lee. She actually is pregnant, and she is leaving because of that pregnancy. What do you guys think about that?
This is, I think it's something that you just sort of expect to happen, especially when you have wrestlers dating each other. She's Blake, right? I think it's Wesley
Murphy.
Blake. Murphy? Okay. Either way, obviously congratulations to them both. Baby is always a wonderful occasion. And, hats off to her. I mean, she wants to go and be a mom, and that's great.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly she may have been released before this. It's like conflicting whether she asked for her release and they gave it to her, or that he was already going to release her, and she kind of put this up so that, it seems like it's for this. I mean, obviously WWE did not release her because she's pregnant, because that's
lawsuit city, baby.
Lawsuit waiting to happen. But it kind of sucks because we never really got to see anything from Sara Lee. We've obviously already seen Mandy a couple of times, and she already looks like she's better than even Marie, honestly. And Sara Lee at least had. At one point, you thought she'd have a character and just a look that could, resonate with people because it's different. And it kind of sucks. We never got to see her. We still haven't seen Mr. Bronson or whatever his name is now either. So it might be another case where the winners don't do a whole lot. And maybe she comes back after the pregnancy and everything is resolved. I'm happy for them as far as that goes. But, kind of disappointing on that end.
Yeah, you hate to see careers cut short, even if it is for, personal reasons like a pregnancy. You kind of want to see these people get to the point of, this is who they are and this is what their ability is. And we never got to find that out. But, that's okay. Bestest wishes to her, the family. I mean, that's great news. That anybody that's having a kid, that's awesome. And, we definitely, support it. It's definitely cool stuff. The Dusty Rhodes Classic is coming up soon, and I'm excited about it. We loved it last year. I think it's going to be really cool this year. But, we had to hear some announcements for those matches, and so we do have a few here. I just, I'm going to let you guys, kind of talk about what you are excited about here. We have, of course, the Authors of Pain involved in this. We have the Bollywood Boys. We got... What is it? The Andrade Almas, and we have Cedric Alexander together. The Revival, of course. We got those guys. We got a bunch of different teams here that we could go through. What do you guys think? Who are some of these teams that you really want to see do well?
Yeah, I mean, the whole bracket's been revealed. So you have the Authors of Pain taking on the Bollywood Boys, and then the winner of that will face Andrade Almas and Cedric Alexander and the Revival. Then you have Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger taking on, spoilers, I guess, because this is the only one that I wrote down. But Sanity is, of course, they'll make their debut in this tournament. And then you have TM61 taking on Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, who I assuming are they're guys I'm not very familiar with. I don't recall them.
Tino Sabatelli was one of the big guys from Breaking Ground.
Okay. Of course, you have DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. They're taking on Lince Dorado and Mustafa Ali. Hideo Itami and Kota Ibushi, which is just a magical team. They're taking on Austin Aries and a partner to be named. If you're assuming who you think it is, then you're right. And I'll leave it at that. Heavy Machinery is taking on, that's Tucker Knight and Nico, I'm probably going to butcher this, Bogujev? So it's Russian, I know that. And then they're taking on Ho Ho Lun and Ben Wong. And then you have No Way Jose and Rich Swann teaming up to take on Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. That's a stacked tag team tournament if I've ever seen one, Sean.
Yeah, Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, that mystical team that I talked about many times about they really should be a team. But taking on No Way Jose and Rich Swann, I assume that you're not going to have any of the WWE, like a WWE team advance because it's not really meant for them, but you never know. This is one where I could see the Revival going out in the first round to the Almas and Alexander because them winning doesn't really do a whole lot. This is meant to give you a challenger for those titles. It won't be at that takeover unless they do you get to win that night and then also get your title challenge that night, but we'll have to see. This is going to be a great tournament. I mean, you look at a lot of these teams, you got some big names in here. It's interesting to see some of the heavyweight guys in here, like a Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, that kind of thing. So I'd love to see how that's going to pan out as far as that goes. And man, can't wait for this thing to get started.
That's Itami and Ibushi versus Aries and his mystery partner. That's got to be solid 24 karat gold. That's going to be incredible.
I'm surprised they didn't separate them so you could have both teams at least go into the round, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think it just depends on how long Kota is going to be around.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's where that comes from.
It might be just she wanted to do one shot, and so I guess that means that we already know the results in question, but perhaps he's not. He's going to do more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. It's going to be a really great tournament. I'm excited about it, and of course, we'll be getting that sooner than later. So this is going to be a blast. You just heard all the different tag teams involved, and it just excites you. So. All right, guys. Well, we have to talk some for Glory. First, we got a chance to check this out, and I once again, I watched this all kind of fast watched it just because of time reasons. Getting ready for a lot of stuff this week. So, but we are going to get into that next. So, do we have music for this, Sean? Or are we just going to go cold?
We're going to do the normal music for this.
Okay.
TNA Impact Wrestling.
Well,
all right. Eric?
I'm
sorry. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Just so you guys can talk, because you guys got to watch a lot more fully than I did. So I'm going to let you guys do a lot more talking here because, like I said, I fast watched this thing, and I want to make sure people get the information that they need compared to me just saying, yeah, I saw the end, it was pretty good, or I saw the middle of it. DJZ basically took on Trevor Lee in this one, and from what I saw of this, it was kind of normal stuff you get. I like Trevor Lee a lot. I thought he did fine here. What did you guys think about this?
I thought this was quite good. Trevor Lee, DJZ, they have some chemistry here. You get to see a lot of big moves. The finish I kind of like too. The no selling of the dives into DJZ finally connecting with the ZDT and everything. And I don't know. I just really found myself enjoying this a lot. It's just a shame that I highly doubt anything is going to come out of this.
Yeah, that is kind of sad. We'll have to see if they do realize anything out of it. Probably not. It is nice to see what happens when the exhibition gets time over 5 minutes to actually deliver something interesting. These two obviously have history with this title, and it means a lot to both of them. I mean, Trevor Lee was champion when nobody was paying attention to this division for a while. And, these two just went at it back and forth. There was times where it seemed a little bit choreographed. A lot of this match was really well done, and you had a bunch of dives at one point. You had that nasty reverse Rana from DJZ. So it just some really good stuff here. Really good match to start the show, get everybody hyped and get you going. Sadly, it is one of the few better things on the show because I'm sorry, but their undercard just was really underwhelming.
Yeah.
I do want to note,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that Matt Hardy had a wonderful opening video for this show where he is playing the piano to King Maxwell as he's going through all the things that are going to happen on the show, and they show live video along with Maxwell and Matt playing on the piano and all some animations coming from a book and stuff. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm sorry, I forgot that as well. That was great. It was exciting to see because it kind of reminded me of Reading Rainbow a little bit.
All they needed was LeVar Burton to come in there.
Oh, then this would have definitely got a 5-star pay-per-view for me.
Show of the year.
Yeah, show of the year. So, and just to let you guys know, there is a backstage scene we do have in this show of Drew Galloway talking to doctors, Billy Corgan being involved. Basically, Galloway, is injured and he's trying to fight to actually get out there and get in the ring, but the doctors say no, not a good idea. And Billy Corgan agrees, says no. So that explains why later on he does not get a chance to face off for the Grand Championship. But moving on, we do have a Bound for Glory Golden Gauntlet to talk about, and boy, this is an undercard that I'm sure Sean is excited about. The superstar, or actually Rockstar Spud himself, I like to call him Superstar. Rockstar Spud, we had Jesse Goddard, we had Robbie E., Baron Dax. We also had who else in this match? We also had Sutter, Braxton Sutter. We had Brockus. We also had Grado, one of my favorite guys in the whole world. Eli Drake, Tyrus. We also had Mahabharashura, how do you say his name? So we had a full 10 guys here, and this kind of went down, kind of like you expect a gauntlet to go down. Lots of craziness, lots of things going on, but at the end of the day, Eli Drake is the winner. I never saw that coming. I actually chose Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was not a part of this. He's later in the show, secretly. So, but what did you think about this match?
This was a tough road to haul. There are certain parts where I found myself interested, and there were many other parts where I was like, okay, this is a thing. Baraka and Dax do very little for me. Braxton Sutter is fine in the ring, but he's got nothing really around him. And then when you got Mahabharashura involved in anything, I care so little. I will say, Grado just coming out, doing the dance, getting thrown out, and dancing out might have been my favorite part of this match.
Grado doing an old bushwhacker spot where he just comes in, the music doesn't stop playing, he just keeps going.
Absolute money.
Robbie E was house on fire at times for this. Spud was funny, and it was good to see him trying to relive old memories with Tyrus. Didn't turn out too well for him. It was really disappointing because I thought that they would liven this up with Cody Rhodes winning, but the problem is if you have Cody Rhodes come into this, which I didn't think about when I was writing the preview, and I had a dumb question that I asked myself, and then that we kind of all answered when we did the preview for the podcast as well, is just if you have Cody Rhodes come in, he has to win, and then what does that make the rest of your roster look like that have been around for the whole year if Cody Rhodes gets to walk in on the biggest show of the year that you have and he gets to win a contender spot? So they don't have him in here. Eli Drake deservedly gets to win because he's the only guy worth a damn in that whole entire mess of whatever heavyweight mid-card that is. And this match was just whatever. It wasn't as bad as last year's, but that's not saying much.
True that. And like you said, Sean, Eli Drake, to me, definitely right choice out of all the names that we just kind of listed there. He's annoying at times, but you know what? He's kind of growing on me. So, let's talk about Moose facing off against Michael Bennett, and Moose does get the victory here. and deservedly so. I thought this was decent.
I thought this was fine. I correctly guessed that it went too long. This did not need 10 minutes because the ending, I already found myself a little bit disinterested. These guys, they worked fine together. It really should have been more, like Moose should have kind of run Bennett over a little bit more than I thought he did.
That's the problem. You can't have him run over a guy that you paid a bunch of money to be there, and you've kind of made him a central part of certain storylines. So they had to do a little bit of back and forth. The thing was, this is one of those matches where they try to make it seem epic, and it's nowhere near that. It's absolutely nowhere near that. They have a botch on the outside where I think he was supposed to grab Bennett into a powerbomb off the tope con hilo, and he misses. And it ends up looking bad. What is it? I forgot what he calls it, but the springboard crossbody into the cutter was decent. Just no one cared about this. This is the thing. What's over right now is Moose's chant, not Moose. So it's just a match, and they try to add story to it, and just they went away from the leg, which was stupid, and it's just this was okay, but just okay.
Exactly, and I think you still get a chance to see Moose's inexperience in this match, to be honest with you. Sean just kind of pointed out. You okay?
No, just
but we didn't get
you totally Skype just muted you randomly.
Yeah, we're having those issues. That's crazy. Can you hear me now, though?
It was just so funny because it was like Gary just all of a sudden is talking, and then bloop, you're not there for like 5 seconds, and then you're.
I know. I heard a pop. It was weird. I heard a pop too. It was kind of like weird. But anyway, they didn't want to hear my thought about Moose. But I just think this match really did kind of show Moose has still got a lot to do and to learn. But at the end of the day, you get it.
Yeah,
Moose
he
has
was
to
not
win.
protected here at all, which is the thing. I always protected him a lot. Yeah, and Mike Bennett is not Okada either. So,
Yeah, very true. Well, let's talk about the Grand Championship match, and this was a big one. This one was supposed to be, the debut, and the inaugural winner was going to be crowned. Aaron Rex no longer has Galloway to face off against, but he does have Eddie Edwards. And so here we go, guys. Eddie Edwards does win the first bout. He gets the first round, and then Aaron Rex, of course, like formula, gets the second round. So what's going to happen in the third? Well, that's really the time that matters. And we get it pretty close to even at times. I think both these guys did a great job, but Aaron Rex just did enough to get the decision at the end of the day to win this. So Aaron Rex is your grand champion.
I thought this was fine. I think there was obviously so much more invested in an Aaron Rex Drew Galloway final, and I kind of agree with Galloway that they should have just postponed it, because what you get here is ultimately fine. Eddie Edwards is a great wrestler. I think he works the style very well. I think where this sort of falters is maybe going to a split decision over this match. I understand you want to protect Eddie and everything, but Aaron, I think, needed to win definitively. He needed to pin him. You could have it go to round 3 and maybe go almost to time, and I think Eddie would have still been just as protected.
Yeah, I think also what bothered me is that Eddie clearly wins round 1, and Aaron clearly wins round 2, and the scorecard should have reflected that. They shouldn't have even been close. That's what bothers me too. It's like, you need to make these things definitive. If you're having Aaron Rex basically destroy in the second round, there shouldn't even be a 9 anywhere near Eddie Edwards. I was just talking about logically. Like, they are throwing out numbers here, and if you want to make it more legit, you need to make the scorecards also legit. don't just throw out random numbers to make it seem close the whole time. Like, have this planned out. It's a wrestling match. We know it's planned out. I'm sorry to tell you. So you need to plan this out better to where if you're really going to have him rule in a certain round, the scorecard needs to reflect that. Number one, that bothered me. Secondly, just the crowd didn't care. The lights going out in the second round really hurt the match because the crowd started chanting a "pay your light bill." I mean, like
so topical. Awesome. I died.
Just so TNA. So TNA. Like, and I mean, I thought they did a good job of like telling the story with the leg and that being a problem for Eddie. But honestly, that protects him enough right there. I don't think you needed to have Eddie like have this total comeback thing and make it. I think honestly, you could have had Aaron Rex just beat him because he's torn down his leg so bad, and he pins him, and Aaron Rex definitively wins because again, you're trying to make Aaron Rex somebody. You're going off. You're already using his music from WWE. Okay, you're going off of his WWE like stardom, quote unquote, to act like he's something, and you've got to understand that in a different company, that's not always the same thing. And you needed to make that a bit more, okay, case closed, Aaron Rex wins. Not to mention you have the graphic come up before Aaron Rex's name is actually announced, so that looks bad too. Just overall, not good from an all-around TNA on this match. And I hope that they get this kind of settled out where we have a different way to have some of these matches go, because like Gary pointed out in the preview write-up that we did, and also just in other things, of if you have it be the same thing every time, people are going to start tuning out. So you have to come up with different ways to have the person win or lose.
Exactly, and I would have been a lot happier if Aaron Rex would have won in that second round knockout. It's just some other way instead of going the formula, because the formula is you get one, I get one, and the third, it's just a regular match. We all start at 0, right? So that's something that I think they got to figure out. They definitely do, for that to matter, at least. Let's talk about the Great War. I can't wait to talk about this one. Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero face off against the Decay, and boy, I mean, lots of different things involved here, guys. But at the end of the day, the tag champs are now Broken Matt and Brother Nero.
I mean, shocker, guys. This was the best thing on the card.
Yes.
Oh. Shocker,
and
right?
Shocker that the Hardys won.
Right. The tag division, I don't know where you go from here, but this whole journey has been, it's just been magical. Like, I love the Hardy entrance was wonderful with them, Nero singing out the obsolete song and Rebby playing the piano and everything, and the mixture of the stuff you got in the ring, and then the pre-tape stuff that they did whenever they went to the back, and then they come back out and finish the match and everything, and Matt sort of letting Brother Nero indulge in his spot monkey tendencies. I loved that. I loved this whole thing. I thought it was great.
And of course, you had to throw in some Willow too in there.
Of course, and whatever craziness he was before Willow.
Yeah, that was a character he had in Omega, apparently.
That was about that.
Terrific.
But
I can't see shit.
I can't see shit. Vanguard won Misting Rosemary. That was great. The only thing I would say is that, honestly, yes, at times at first it was hard to tell that was pre-taped, but I would have just preferred them. You're going over the top with this. Just do it in letterbox with the HD, and just do it all the way with that until they get back in the arena. Like, honestly, for me, I would have preferred it that way, because it honestly made parts of the pre-tape look bad. Like, look like, I'm talking about like it's bad as in, oh man, this stuff was actually pretty cool to, oh, this is really corny. So I would have almost preferred they would have just gone almost like, okay, it's broken. We're into territory where we're not in the ring anymore, so it just went crazy. And that's just me though. I mean, that's just me from a production standpoint, from a like when I'm watching and I'm going, okay, this is just randomly happening, and like Matt all of a sudden has the power of fire, and like they're fighting on top of a car, and a fan gets hit, and all this other stuff, and
that was the guy that they the Decay beat up in the Leader Decay stuff.
Yeah, it's just.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was really funny. I mean, this was great. This was a great match. I mean, look, it was a big brawl. Don't expect anything like, technical brilliance or anything. If you're not into the Leader Decay, whatever, I don't know if this is going to persuade you at all. But if you're loving it, it's another one of those great showings from the whole Broken thing. And that's the thing. That's the only problem that I thought after this was over. I said, where the hell did they go from here? Because that was their best tag team. There was like nobody.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with either team.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting.
They've centered it around the Hardys and the Decay so long that it's like you got some really poor tag teams behind them.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if they're still going to continue a little bit with the Decay. I mean, after this, and then maybe in that. I don't know if this is per se the end of it. I mean, it could be. But I don't know if I'm willing to say that just yet. But yeah, the tag team situation, the tag team division, it makes me nervous. I don't know what they're going to do. Well, we also, need to mention that Gail Kim was inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. They had some special people come out and talk about her. I think Taryn Terrell was one of them. We also had Awesome Kong, which surprised to see her back around TNA. And then, of course, Dixie Carter did her stuff, which is, just Dixie Carter.
Christy Hemme, too.
Christy Hemme, yes, she actually was the first one, I believe, if I remember right. And so you had, these people come out and just, do the thing. Gail Kim did her own shtick of, I love everybody. You're all awesome. I appreciate it. And, there you go. And unless you say anything else to say, I think that's pretty much what you need to know. But Gail Kim did have a match, and she was facing off against Maria for the Knockouts Championship. And this did not go Maria's way. She wanted help from Allie. Allie tried to help her, but we had Gail Kim intervene a little bit with that. So at the end of the day, Gail Kim finds a way to win this match.
Yeah, this was I think is everything you really expected to be. Gail Kim winning, I don't know if that helps the division really at all. Just because I thought all the heat, Allie is the one that got the most reaction out of both girls. Go figure. You have all the good stuff happening around her. Her overtossing the brace to Gail, I thought was great, and just because of the oops face that she made was wonderful. Ultimately, though, I mean, Gail wins the title for the 6th time. Maria's reign was kind of poopy, and I don't know how you go about making Allie out of this, but certainly she's the one to be made out of all this, and they need to get on that post-haste.
Yeah, that's what's weird is I guess you're going to have Allie and Maria kind of go at it, and the fans are going to just be so happy to see Allie going against Maria that I guess this will turn her face, and then she'll get a title match out of it from Gail, and then I guess they'll just randomly discover that she knows how to wrestle out of this, and perhaps that's how she beats Gail. I don't know. I do like the fact of, okay, Gail's been the longest champion ever. She can put over Allie, or, I'm assuming it's going to be Allie because it's not like they have just a ton of women's wrestlers around right now. So I'm assuming it's going to lead up to that, but, this is just the match was whatever too. It's about 6 minutes and
It
It's
says
a lot
everything.
of smoke and mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of smoke and mirrors is really all it is.
It is, and it says everything about what this division's been going through. Ugh.
I mean, it's absolutely just in the gutter compared to where it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, the only question I had come out of this whole thing was, is Allie's oops face the same as her O face? So, just
boy,
a question I have. So,
I guess you can ask Preston Sutter that question.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess so. I forgot about that. But okay, well, moving on. Let's talk about the main event here. We had Bobby Lashley defending his TNA World Heavyweight Championship against EC3, Paul's personal friend. And boy, what a battle these two guys went through. I mean, it was, it was pretty extreme. These guys, pulled out all the stops, but at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley stood strong and was able to get the victory here.
Are we skipping the post-match stuff from the Knockouts title match? That's kind of important.
We could talk about that. I'm sorry. I thought y'all were kind of done talking about the knockout. But go ahead, continue. I'll let you go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, the post-match is where Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes debuted.
Oh, I skipped over that. I apologize. Yes, of course. We're talking about that. Michael Bennett, of course, is frustrated. Nothing's going their way. He's very upset. And then the lights gone. Here they come up, and it's Cody Rhodes and Brandy, and of course we have Maria and Brandy face to face, and Brandy gets to actually do a wrestling move. She actually gets to be involved physically with somebody, which I'm sure is nice. And of course, Cody Rhodes takes out Michael Bennett, so that is great. We finally get these two people that we've been talking about every week on this show. But what did you think about it overall?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's clearly where they're going to go with Maria and Bennett now is Cody and Brandy, and that's not a whole lot of stuff to look. I mean, Brandy's still green as far as the ring goes, and we've seen what Maria can do, obviously. And, Bennett and Cody Rhodes, this is something Cody wanted to cross off his list, is working with Miracle here. So we'll see how all that goes down. But I didn't have a terribly large problem with how they debuted him.
Yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. Like Paul said, Bennett is the guy. He already wrestled him on an indie show. He wanted to wrestle him here. I think he's going to wind up doing more than just a Bennett match as well. But, this is fine. I mean, this is a good way to have him do something and nobody looks bad. And other than Bennett and Maria, who've already been having a bad night as it is, so it's not a big deal. And, add fuel to the fire for them to be doing something.
Definitely, and this is a big deal for the fact that we kept hearing about Cody Rhodes was going to be there, and I thank you, Paul, for reminding me. I just glossed over because I kept thinking earlier about that that Golden Gauntlet and the fact that Cody Rhodes wasn't a part of it, and I just kind of put it in the back of my mind. But I'm excited about seeing what they can do. At least as long as TNA is going to be having some television, I'm excited about seeing where the storyline takes them with Michael Bennett and Cody Rhodes. Brandy, I'm a little worried, but we'll see. But let's go ahead and finish this out by talking about that big World Heavyweight Championship match. I mean, how did you guys feel about
it? They tried to make this into something more than what we got, and hats off to them for trying, but it didn't come off very well to me. They didn't click. I don't think the crowd was really as into this as they both were thinking they would be. The pieces were all there. They just couldn't put that puzzle together.
Yeah, I agree. It's good, but not great. And that's kind of what you got. And what's sad is these two have had a great match before. These two haven't had better matches, and on Bound for Glory, it doesn't happen. And so you're building up to this main event, and like you said, they have all these finisher kickouts and all this other stuff, and it doesn't quite work for them. And Lashley retains, as sort of we expected, because the next feud is obviously going to be with Moose, and we go from here. And obviously EC3's been building this thing with Drew Galloway for a while, so we'll have to see where all this goes.
Yeah, definitely, and this may be the definition of quantity over quality. Lots of different things happening, but maybe not the most exciting. I mean, I kind of get where you guys are coming from. I did battle it out, but it just was, not to the level I think that you wanted. So, all right. Well, quickly, what did you guys kind of think about a rating if you were going to rate this thing? How did you feel Bound for Glory and what it deserved?
It's kind of hard. I don't want to be overly harsh, but at the same time, it wasn't a terrific show. But there was good stuff on here. 5.5. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'll
go with a 6. I think the Hardys, the Great War thing, kind of puts it over a little bit for me. But yeah, it wasn't a bad show. Just honestly, look, the opener, the Great War. And if you really want to watch the main event, I guess you can. But and then if you're a big Gail Kim fan, the Hall of Fame speech was fine. And having a Awesome Kong looking different with her new hairdo, and Taryn Terrell super pregnant. I mean, I don't know if she really needed to be there, but I mean it's fine. I mean, just kind of sucks that TNA only does 2 pay-per-views a year and they can't nail either one. And that's also so TNA, but it kind of sucks considering how good their TV has been. But again, you can do a lot more things with TV. And one thing with having this extra hour and having to have matches that I think maybe you wouldn't have on TV is it really shows how slim that roster is. And how, outside from certain people and some of the new people that are coming in, obviously, they are really low on talent.
Yeah, they are, and you definitely feel for them. There are some great names on this roster. Don't get us wrong. I think that there's some people on here that definitely deserve to get TV time, to get their name out there, and that's fine. But you need more. It's kind of like we were talking about the tag team division and even the X division at times. There's just not enough there to get past what you've already got.
Well, I mean they do have Davey. Whenever he comes back, I guess you can have Broken Hardys against the Wolves. I don't know how you're going to work with that, but
I don't even know if I'm thrilled with that. I mean, I was just being personal.
I forgot to mention there was a "We Want Davey" chant during that match too, that's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get people to be behind Eddie Edwards, and they're chanting for Davey instead. Boy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys are pretty right. I think if I was going to do it, I'd give it a 6 as well. Just decent show. But that's Bound for Glory. We, of course, had some great stuff on this show. And if you want to hear some other great shows, you don't want to forget that we are also doing part 2 of this show live this coming Thursday night on Spreaker.com. And if you want to catch us on the download, of course, you know where to find us, right? The W2M Network. Or you can also check us out on W2Mnet.com. You don't want to miss out on all the content there, so go check that stuff out. And of course, like we've talked about, we've got a lot of great things coming up this next episode. We're going to be jumping into No Mercy, getting into all the card, everything we want to talk about. It's going to be predictions and, of course, some notes on what's going to be taking place there. And, we're going to talk NXT. We're talking Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, all the fallout from this past Bound for Glory. So a lot of stuff we're going to get into. Very exciting. And don't miss the SmackDown Live review tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for that one as well. So we've got a full slate of things coming your way when it comes to wrestling to the max. Sean, do you want to kind of share anything that's coming our way from the W2M Network, though?
I mean, we have the football shows. Fantasy football show is also there as well. They just posted it. We'll be doing a college. Apologize for not having the week 5 previews and week 4 previews for college and NFL. I was it wasn't going to happen that night with I think Randy was still at work and we would have had to be awake another hour and it was already like 4 a.m. so that wasn't happening. We do have our week 4 and week 5 reviews for NFL and college respectively. that will be up there on later on Tuesday. And I know I have a Jobber's Court that's been sent to me. There's a Running Wild podcast as well. But I think that's we should have the video game show sometime this week as well. So should be back to normal as far as the network goes with shows, especially since we had to miss some because I was out of town.
Yeah, definitely. And there'll be some other, great content coming your way, for those shows. So, we did miss a little bit, but it's okay. We've got some other great content coming, so no worries there. But yeah, that's our show, guys. I'm excited for this, coming week. We've got lots of great stuff, and I'm excited. So, well, for myself, for Sean, and for Paul, we want you always to remember, if you're not living life to the max,
not living life at all.
You know it.
Please.
Later.